Okay, a little bit of breakfast TV here at Mobile Europe. We're on the couch with Sanjeev Verma from Airvana, who's just going to take us through some of the most recent developments at his company. Sanjeev, have you been busy in the last year or so since we last spoke?
Absolutely, we have been. We've been busy on the femto front on both the CDMA technology side as well as the UMTS technology side. Some of the announcements from last year that we may not have spoken with you about are on the CDMA front. We announced a pretty broad-ranging partnership with Hitachi Communications to bring our Femtocell products into the Japanese market, and that partnership's bearing excellent fruit and making very good progress. If you recall our discussion last year, we were saying how Femtocell technology gets integrated into gateways, and we are very pleased to show progress in that arena as well. Pirelli Broadband, which is a premier corporation based out of Italy, is now integrating the Airvana UMTS Femtocell technology into both their gateways, and this is an example of a Pirelli Femtocell which is based on the Airvana technology. We continue to make excellent progress on expanding our partnerships and operator traction along with it, and should be an exciting year coming up.
So this is part of the overall model is to integrate with other manufacturers. I think we can see some other brands that you've worked with as well.
Well, that is one approach to the market. We believe that there is a place in the marketplace for standalone femtocells because they leverage the benefit of having a broadband connection in your home. And if you want to bring excellent coverage, capacity, or services to your femtocell, you can take a standalone femtocell like the one that I showed you and quickly attach it to a broadband connection and get the benefits of a femtocell service. That said, there is also a marketplace for integrated devices where a service provider may offer you a single box that does both DSL and femtocell or cable and femtocell. And the example of the Pirelli box and the Thomson gateway that I am showing over here are examples of integrated devices. Frankly, it's too early to say which model is going to dominate the majority of the femtocell rollouts, and so we look at both of these options as great ways to bring femtocell technology to operators and ultimately to consumers, and we will continue to wait and see which one, if any, dominates.
Okay, and for you as a company, obviously it doesn't make any difference which way the market goes there, or?
Not really. What matters to us is to bring femtocell technology to operators and to consumers in a significant way, and we will continue to pursue a variety of ways to bring our technology and products to the marketplace. We are very well equipped to bring standalone femtocells to the marketplace. Airvana has special expertise in developing the entire femtocell technology, and we have deep experience in solving the hard systems problems for bringing femtocell-like technology into a wireless operators world. So we're going to do that, and also, as I said, use channels and partnerships, such as our partnerships with Nokia Siemens, to bring our products to the market.
Okay, and just looking around here at this event, there are a few application and service demos going on. Is that a sign that there's good stuff happening and people are beginning to innovate, or is it a sign that actually the vendors are trying to kickstart something in this area?
It's an interesting question. I think that the answer may be a bit of both, but I believe that it's important to recognize that ultimately any industry that's created is part about getting immediate benefits to consumers, and the femtocell marketplace, those immediate benefits happen to be great coverage, excellent capacity, and perhaps a cheaper calling plan. But ultimately what happens is that in most industries we have shown that while there's initial skepticism about additional services, they eventually come in and dominate. And I'm going to be giving a talk this afternoon where I would tend to remind people that even in something as standard as voice telephony on cellular telephones, if we had sat down on this couch maybe 5 years ago and said, do you believe that there will be a services market for ringtones that would be £1 billion a year or more? And we would have said, no, that's crazy, that's wishful thinking. And yet today we see that there is over 35% penetration for things like ringtones. If we had sat here 3 years ago and said, well, do you think that on mobile phones there is a potential for an application store? And would have said, well, that's all foo-foo, that's in the future. Yet the case of the iPhone has shown how powerful the business model can become if you actually integrate applications into the iPhone. So similarly, while the immediate benefits of the femtocell are clearly coverage and capacity, the femtocell is a very unique device in that it bridges the wireline and the wireless network. It's managed by the mobile operator and it understands presence. And so there are a slew of services that can be offered. We have some examples that we'll be showcasing where you'll be wondering what I'm doing with this doll over here. Her name is Samantha. She's got a mobile phone attached to her. This doll is a proxy for a kid in a home. And when a child such as Samantha walks into the home, the femtocell recognizes that Samantha has walked in because it recognizes the cell phone that is in Samantha's pocket. And it could be used to send an SMS to a parent that says Samantha is home. Now, these are examples of services that I have no doubt that in the years to come will certainly augment and sweeten the business case for femtocell deployments. And a couple of years down the road, just as we take for granted that there are things like ringtones and iPhone app stores, I believe that there will be a rich series of applications being brought into the market. And what you're seeing at the show this time is the very first series of innovative work. So any industry is part reality, part dreams and innovation for the future. And the health of our industry is evident in the innovation that you're seeing in the services arena this time.
And the operator customers, are they focused really heavily on the reality or the dreams at the moment? I mean, presumably they're still really concerned with, cost and coverage. Is that correct?
Well, as you may well imagine, you have answered the question yourself. I mean, initially they focus on, what can I do in the most economic way right now, which means offer great coverage, capacity, and I might add with capacity services, because what the great capacity potential for the femtocell does is it enables an operator to offer all-you-can-eat calling plans or high-speed data plans that are limitless in their home. And so, without a doubt, they are probably focusing their attention early on topics like these. But behind the scenes, the next wave of planning folks within operators are very heavily engaged with activities such as what you're seeing in the services arena. And without a doubt, a few years down the road, you're going to see a pretty rich array of services that will work on top of femtocells. As with everything, not all the services that are being contemplated will be successes, but there is enough of them that you will be seeing some that will catch the consumers and the operators' fancy.
You're sounding very optimistic. Is it a given that most operators will have a femtocell strategy, say in the European market, for instance?
Well, we live in a competitive world, and I believe that the announcement that Vodafone made today of launching femtocell service in the United Kingdom and potentially in other markets is going to spur a competitive response from other operators. It is my belief that in the long term, the fact that the femtocell can make your cell phone your primary phone and do so economically means that one can think of the femtocell like the base unit of your cordless phone. What you think of today as your cordless phone and it has a base unit, tomorrow you will have a much more sophisticated phone, the cell phone, as your primary phone, and the femtocell is a base unit for it. It's a long-winded way of saying that yes, I believe that competitive pressures as well as the elegance and the power of the technology will make femtocells an extraordinarily widely deployed technology in our homes a few years from now.
A few years. And if we came back 6 months to a year from now, would you expect to see Airvana either through your partners or directly have deployments with operators yourselves?
I would like to say that you should be able to see that. Airvana is a public company, and so we have to be very guarded in our announcements about operators. Everybody's dying to ask us who we're going with, but I hope that 6 months down the road we have the liberty of making some nice announcements.
Okay, Sanjeev, thanks very much.